Hello everyone, my name is Clay and welcome to Terminally Nerdy's Indie Impressions, the show where I take a look at independent, non-AAA, and niche titles, giving you my quick first impressions after at least 2 hours of playtime. I've already explained why, you can go watch one of my other videos to learn. And today, we're going to be looking at a game that, full disclosure, I had been waiting for about a year since I saw it on Reddit on indiegaming, Sparklite. Now, when I originally saw it, it didn't have a name. I just saw some GIFs of the animation, but I was 100% in on what I was looking at here. It looked phenomenal. And in the game, it does look phenomenal. It's got this beautiful pixel animated style. The animations on the enemies and the attacks are great. Pretty much all the visual style is fantastic. There's distinct biomes. It's just good stuff all around. Oh, I also want to say, I did get a key for the purposes of the review from Evolve PR. Thank you guys. Gotta do your FTC disclosures. At the time of this recording, they just changed the disclosure rules. For sponsorships, mostly. So, that's fun. That was your news for the minute with Clay. Anyway, so Sparklite visually is great. And audio is pretty solid. There's no voice acting or anything, it's just music. The music is nice, but it does get repetitive very quickly. And we'll get into why in a moment. But there is a distinct musical melody for each area, at least. So when you're in the first zone, the vineyards, you have one theme. When you go to the Golden Woods, you have another. When you're in the refuge, you have a different one. Pretty solid stuff. You also have one for boss fights, which was nice. But let's talk about that repetition, shall we? So when I first saw this game, and pretty much every subsequent update, one thing I apparently personally missed is that this game is a roguelike. I actually thought it was going to be more like Secret of Mana, and it plays very much like Secret of Mana does. You run around on screen, you have an attack button, you have two kind of tools, although they call them gadgets, and then you have consumable items which they call widgets that you can pick up and find. But the entire premise of the game is you will start in the refuge, you will drop down to the world, and because of these quakes, these fractures that are being caused by the Titans of Industry and the Baron of Industry, which are kind of like the bosses you're trying to hunt down, the layout of the world will change. Every time you die, you will go back to the refuge. All you lose are your consumable items. You keep everything else. Anything you found, anything you picked up, any money or Sparklite that you've collected will stay with you, but you will lose your consumables every time you go back up top. And then you'll come back down, and the system will repeat. I didn't realize that this was what the game was. It's a decent one at that, and it plays, like I said, very much like a Secret of Mana. It's action combat, lots of puzzles here and there. But I actually was hoping for more like a Zelda game, where the world was static and I could wander and explore it, and that's not what I got here. That's on me, it's not on the game, but going in, please be aware, this is a roguelike. Okay? You are expected to die. In fact, you will spend a lot of time grinding. Because you see, the Titans, the bosses, I've fought 2 of them and I've only killed 1. They are no joke. The first one was fairly simple. Once I figured out his pattern, I got him on my second try. But the second Titan that you get access to, he's a little nutty, and I'm not entirely certain how to beat him. He's brutal. He's very, very brutal, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong to fight him. And the only option I have, really, to upgrade is to upgrade the widget stand in town, which is how I get access to more widgets to take with me, more consumables, basically, to take with me right when I start my runs. And I can upgrade the gadget shack, which I have to have new gadgets to learn. And like I said, the gadgets are the non-consumable sort of tools. So like the very first gadget you get, which is part of the tutorial, you will learn how to craft, and you have to craft it to use it, but you only gotta craft it once. You have to craft a crossbow. And then eventually you can learn a blimp with a bomb attached to it, which I have. And then the newest one I got was the Shrink Master, where if you watch me play, you'll see these little pipes. And those pipes require the Shrink Master to enter and pop out at another location, so. And I'm sure there's more gadgets. There's definitely space for more gadgets, and there's more upgrades to the gadget shack. Character progression in this, beyond the gadgets and the widgets, are badges. So when you start, you'll have a 3x3 grid. And this grid is where you put your badges. And badges are things like more heart containers. Badges are more energy containers, which are what are required to use your tools. Not the Shrink Master, but the other two. You can get damage upgrades, you can get defensive upgrades, you can get badges that will let you see the entire map of a particular biome every time you load in. There's badges that show you where the titans are so you don't have to hunt them down. There's badges that show you where the temples where you can get the tools are located as well. But you only have a 3x3 grid, and different badges have different sizes. Like the heart containers are 1 square, but the damage upgrade is a 2x2 square, so it takes up a huge chunk. And at first, I wasn't sure if I would ever be able to upgrade that, but the first medical bay upgrade where the badges are will let you actually merge badges of the same type. So you can merge 2 of the starter heart containers into 1, which will give you half a heart container instead of 2 quarters. And then if you have 2 of the halves, you can merge those together to form 1 badge for 1 full heart. Also, if you upgrade your medical bay continuously, you'll get a bigger badge board. Mine is now a 4x4 grid instead of a 3x3, so I have a lot more space to work with. Basically, I think I've fit every badge I have found in my grid through upgrading and merging and everything. And there's still more medical bay upgrades for me to do. But the limiter here is Sparklite. Everything costs money. Money is gained by killing enemies, breaking open chests, and it doesn't come as fast as you would necessarily like it to. I usually have to do 2 or 3 runs and purposefully die, because right now there's no way to get back to the city unless I die, just to collect enough Sparklite to upgrade the widget stand, which I haven't even done yet. I haven't upgraded the widget stand even once, because to upgrade the widget stand once is 300 Sparklite, and I need that Sparklite to buy more badges from the medical bay, to increase the medical bay so I can equip more badges so I have more hearts and more defensive capabilities, and it's very grindy in that respect. And while the combat's decent, it is very, very repetitive. The tools don't seem to have a lot of oomph to them. Like, the bomb blimp is nice, but I use it mostly for breaking blocks, because trying to control it, because the controls on the bomb blimp are abysmal, is really frustrating. And like, the crossbow seems to do almost nothing to enemies. It seems to just be for distance hitting switches, I guess. I can't figure it out. I can't figure out if there's a way to upgrade the damage on it, or if it's just not intended to do damage. I can't tell. Overall, Sparklite's a lot of fun, but after playing it for about 3.5 hours, I'm fairly well and honestly done with it, because this isn't anything new. I've played games like this. I just played Children of Morta. For an example, and that one's just as good, if not better, honestly, than Sparklite is. Children of Morta has a better focus on story than Sparklite does, but I think Sparklite's world design is a little more cohesive, so, pros and cons on both. Sparklite is $25 and available on Switch, Steam, PS4, Xbox. Is available pretty much everywhere. There is a launch discount, so depending on when you watch this video, you may or may not have the 15% off discount, which I think brings it down to $20 instead of $25. If what you're seeing is something that you're interested in trying, pick it up. It is a fun time. But for me, I've basically already played games like this, and I don't really need to keep going for this. I certainly don't want to keep grinding for it. The grinding of Sparklite endlessly is honestly gotten rather dull after 3 hours, so. But anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Leave a comment. Let me know if you're interested in Sparklite, if you're interested in picking it up, or if there's a different Action RPG Roguelike that you think is a better game. Leave that in the comments. Please hit that like button or dislike button. You decide. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Hey there, I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and a special thank you to all my patrons who are listed over there on the right hand of the screen. If you want to get your name in those credits, feel free to check it out at patreon.com/terminallynerdy. And hey, be kind to each other and stay nerdy. Thanks.